Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is May 4th, and today I'm back with a video. Today I'm going to be talking about today's significant severe weather threat. We do have a moderate risk out, as you guys can see right here. It's going to be kind of the main focus of today's video. I'm also going to look back at the past couple of days. We've had a lot of tornadoes over the past 2 days, and we're going to kind of review those. And yeah, so we can see today we do have a moderate risk for areas of southern Mississippi and southwestern Alabama. Uh, Hattiesburg, Meridian, Pearl, Mississippi, Brandon, Mississippi, and Laurel, Mississippi are in that moderate risk. Only a 5% total risk, 45 sig wind, and a 15% hail threat. Now, I would not be surprised if we do get a derecho today. It doesn't look to be anything like August 10th last year or anything like that, but it does look like we're going to have some significant damaging winds, and this has a chance of potentially being the ratio. We won't know, of course, until after it happens, but this could be one. This kind of reminds me of an event that we had a couple of weeks ago. I forgot the specific date, but we had a moderate risk kind of in this area. You can see we have a marginal risk extending all the way up into the northeast. 5 Tor, like I said, and not really much of a hail threat. We just have a 15% hail, not even hatched. And then tomorrow we can see a much more quiet-looking pattern, I guess. We have a marginal risk, so still a severe weather threat. And this marginal risk is for pretty much mid-Atlantic down into the deep south, or I guess the coast, the Gulf Coast right there. And then day 3, which is day 3 is Thursday. We have just a marginal risk in Florida. So yeah, it does look like this active severe weather pattern is going to be over pretty soon. But let's review the past couple of days real quick. So far today's report map, we've had 2 tornado reports, and those have been located in Mississippi. 35 wind and 7 hail. Already a pretty active day, and we currently have a squall line. We kind of have 2 main squall lines. We have one in Georgia, kind of extends through Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. A few parts that are broken. Then we have kind of a broken squall line, or a broken. It's kind of a mixture. I'm just gonna call it a squall line in kind of this area right here, with some storms in between. Even though those have even been supercells. We had a supercell. I'm pretty sure those 2 tornado reports are from earlier this morning. Which yeah, that was a supercell in Mississippi. And yeah, yesterday we ended up having 21 tornado reports. The majority of those were in Texas, Illinois, and Georgia/South Carolina. We can see we had a lot of tornado reports up in Illinois, kind of with the MCV. A few down in Texas of a supercell to the south of Dallas-Fort Worth, and we had a complex of storms move through North Georgia and South Carolina that produced a strong tornado as it crossed into South Carolina. We can review some of these reports here. First one of the day was in Kentucky. EF1 tornado, I guess. A few in Georgia, and this one right here is the tornado. It hasn't been rated yet, but this is the one that was in the time lapse. Well, the tornado really wasn't in the time lapse. It was just the storm that produced the tornado. It's in that time lapse that I posted earlier today. The storm that produced it. The tornado is not in the time lapse. And that same storm moved east and produced tornado in Elbert County. Then these ones in Abbeville County and Greenwood, South Carolina. We had a PDS warning out for those areas. And a pretty strong tornado also. And yeah, so a pretty active day yesterday. May 2nd was even more active. We had 39 tornado reports. The majority of those being in Mississippi and Louisiana. We had a nice looking circle of reports right there. A few tornado reports in Colorado. Tornado risk didn't really look too significant out there in Colorado, but we did end up having a tornado in that area, and we also had some land spouts in Nebraska. So yeah, I mean, May 2nd. This was Sunday. I'd say May 2nd overperformed. Likely could have verified as a 10%, maybe even a 15%. Considering how close these reports are to each other. a bunch of little supercells formed, or baby sups, and they didn't really carry anything. They didn't really carry hail or wind with them, or damaging wind, just tornadoes, and there was some damaging wind reports, but nothing, not a lot. Um, so yeah, pretty active past couple of days. Right now, we can see we have a complex of storms in this area, complex of storms down here. This one's gonna be our is gonna bring a lot of wind in this area, and then get some storms going off in between and kind of in front of it, and a lot of nice cume fields in this area. Plenty of instability also. We have a lot of cape and a lot of sunshine in this area, so that's going to really help the field of severe weather threat today. So let's go over to the HRRR model. Well, first let's take a look at, I want to take a look at radar. You can see it's complex of storms here, and even some summertime showers in areas of south and eastern Georgia. Kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the HRRR. This is the 12Z run. Actually, I'm going to use the latest run for this. 17Z doesn't go far out enough, so I'm going to use a 16Z. So we can see, let's go ahead and skip ahead to 20Z. You can see we have a complex of storms in North Georgia. Take a sounding there, and we'll move to the west. Not much of a tornado threat. Maybe a tornado can't be ruled out, of course, with this sounding, but it doesn't look to be much of a tornado sounding. Really just damaging winds and a little bit of a small hail threat. Nothing too significant, though. Take one in Alabama now. A little bit even more of a less tornado threat. Really just hail and damaging winds. That seems to be the main threat, damaging winds today. Of course, a tornado can't be ruled out, but damaging wind seems to be the main threat. A little bit better shear than the Alabama sounding with this one. The HOTA looks a little worse. But plenty of instability, better lapse rates. Overall, I do think a moderate risk is needed for this event. You can see HRRR indicates a nice looking squall line moving east this afternoon. Let's just take some soundings in front of this. Not bad. This is a little contaminated, but we looked at it. So I'll get a new one in a second. But this sounding instability is decent. Steep lapse rates. Shear profiles aren't terrible. Overall, not a bad sounding. Definitely supportive of damaging winds. That's what I do think the best risk for damaging winds is going to be in this area right here. I agree with the SPC with their moderate risk for sure. Now let's go ahead and go out to 01. You can see this line does start to look like it's weakening a little bit. It's moving in the southern Alabama, central Georgia, and down into, I guess, almost the Gulf Coast. But I do still think we're going to have a damaging wind risk, and the damaging wind risk could still be significant as this line comes through Montgomery and approaches areas of southern Mississippi. See this sounding really favoring a damaging wind threat. Instability is good. Lapse rates aren't the best, but supportive of some small hail. And overall, yeah, decent looking sounding. Definitely favoring a linear storm mode. I don't think we're going to have much supercells today. We already had probably the best one of the day in Mississippi earlier. That produced a tornado. I don't think we're going to have much more now. The supercell, we do have a little bit of a supercell threat. It doesn't look to be the best. We could see a few supercells, kind of in this area here. That's the area I'd want to watch. But overall, not a great environment for supercells. These soundings really favor a linear storm mode. We don't even have a lot of instability as we go further to the north into North Carolina and this area, South Carolina. And yeah, then we can see as this line moves down through Tallahassee tomorrow, or I guess really early tomorrow morning, probably around 2 to 3 a.m. Wednesday. It's going to start to weaken a lot. Still a damaging wind threat and some small hail. Tornado threat will really go down, though. Take a sounding, and shear actually isn't terrible. Definitely favoring maybe even less of a linear storm with this sounding. This looks a little bit better maybe for some supercells. But overall, not a great tornado sounding, but I would say a possible tornado can't be ruled out for this area. Early Wednesday morning. Um, and yeah, let's go on in southern Mississippi. Yeah, that's not really going to support tornadoes. Um, but overall, I'd say the best tornado threat today really looks to be this area, kind of similar to what the SPC has, although it's a little bit smaller. And it kind of depends on storm mode a little bit too, though, because the storm mode today is likely going to be mainly linear. If a few supercells are possible, though, but yeah, a few supercells are possible. And yeah, so we're not going to really talk about tomorrow. Uh, Tomorrow's just a marginal risk, and I don't have a ton of time. Right now, I guess we can look at it on the GFS. Um, yeah, we can see the GFS has the low associated with this front, kind of off the coast of. I guess let's just say by Boston. You see, we have a cold front stretching down like this. Um, some thunderstorms in Florida, and of course, this is going to set the stage for a chance of some severe weather in front of us, depending on if we have instability. Uh, that kind of stuff. We have instability and very steep low-level lapses. Uh, Definitely supportive of a little bit of a severe threat. Let's take one further to the north. Let's take one in southern Delaware. And supportive of a severe weather threat also. A few limiting factors with this tomorrow, though. A few limiting factors is going to be instability. That's really the main one. Instability doesn't look to be extremely high. Now, keep in mind, this is off the GFS, though, so instability could be a little bit higher than what the GFS is showing. Take a sounding in southern South Carolina. Wind shear, not really there. Instability is a lot better. And lapses are decent. Overall, damaging wind threat seems to be the main threat tomorrow. I'd say we do have a little bit of a hail threat for much of the East Coast. Or not much of the East Coast, not all the way up into New England in that area, but really the mid-Atlantic coast down into the southeast. No, the last thing I want to talk about is the, I guess, pattern change we're going to have after this front. So Thursday and Friday are going to be really nice days in the east. We're going to have an upper level low, of course, bringing some moisture into the northeast. And then we have our next big storm system, which will likely occur this weekend. And maybe even some snow up in the northern plains in Montana. We'll have to see about that. But the storm system looks to have the chance of bringing a lot of heavy rain, maybe even some flooding. The severe weather threat with it right now is uncertain, but it does seem to be a lot of heavy rain now. What I want to talk about is the cold air real quick, because we're going to have some much below average temperatures behind this front. So you can see right now the east is above average, and behind this front we have much below average temperatures. And then by Friday morning we can see below average temperatures really for the whole central and eastern U.S. So pretty big pattern change. And this is going to really limit severe weather for the central and east for a little bit. So that will be good. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much that. Last thing I want to talk about is I want to look into this storm system a little bit more. First off, let's just take a look at instability. So Sunday, we actually do have a lot of instability Sunday in areas of the southern plains, the deep south. Even Monday, we have a lot in that area. Tuesday, we have a lot. Then it kind of, for the front pushes down and limits that mainly to the Gulf Coast. Now let's just stop it on Sunday here. So actually, let's do Saturday, because Saturday at 21Z, we have a lot of instability across the plains. So forecasts are 105. I'm going to lock it on. And then we'll look at some, let's look at some ingredients here off the GFS. So dews on Saturday. We have really moist air coming into Kansas, maybe even a triple point setup up here. Let's just take a sounding. It's probably not going to be great. Actually, yeah, this looks decent. This would favor maybe a marginal tornado threat. Large hail and damaging winds for sure. Really, main threat this looks to be large hail. But that could change as this is pretty far out of the GFS. But overall, that's not a bad sounding. I think really Saturday we're going to see the start of another severe event. Friday, we have some moisture in this area. Let's just take a sounding in northern Oklahoma. Not a great environment for sure. But Saturday, it looks like we're really going to start to see another severe weather event get going. Looks to be another event that starts off in the plains. But it doesn't look like we're going to see any chance of severe weather far to the east. We don't have any fronts or much across this area like the southeast. We don't have much. We don't have really a source of lift. We don't have any moisture. Or we have moisture, of course, but we don't have enough moisture to really support severe weather. We have dews mainly in the 40s, and even in the mid-Atlantic states, we have 30s. So overall, that's not really supportive of severe weather. So that's going to limit the severe weather for the east, which that is good. It does look like Saturday though we're going to see some severe weather across central, or I guess let's just say the eastern half of Oklahoma, maybe even parts of the western half also, and even up into Kansas and down into much of central and eastern Texas. I think really Saturday I want to watch this area here, and maybe especially this area. Right there. Let's take a look at some winds here. So this is 850. We can see that looks pretty decent. With 500, we can see it doesn't look 500 doesn't look great. We don't have a. I mean, this doesn't look to be a really a tornado outbreak event, but we can't really say that because this is next. This is Saturday. This is the or yeah, this is Saturday. This is happening on May 8th. But I guess overall, I think we're going to see severe weather events Saturday, and mainly this area. And right now, it looks to be like large hail and tornadoes are going to be the main threats, with damaging wind being a threat also, but it doesn't seem to be the main threat at this point. But it does look like we're going to see a new severe weather event on Saturday after a brief couple of day break, or couple day break. But yeah, that wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. But yes, goodbye.